I want to welcome everybody to this call tonight. I am Grace Joy, and I'm happy that you're here tonight to talk about where we're at in the world right now. Things are changing so fast. How do we keep up? How do we know if it's something's going on with us physically, or that we need to address medically, or if this is just some ascension symptoms that are going to pass? Are we really going crazy, or is this just part of the process? So we're going to get into all of that stuff, and where are we in this ascension, so-called ascension process at this time? Um, and when will it all end? When will we come to the other side? That's probably the biggest question that everybody has right now. Um, Time is disappearing. We have no patience. There's a clear division going on in the world right now. We can feel the energy so intensely right now, and we don't know all the time how to handle it. So we're going to discuss all those types of things tonight and more, and hopefully feel a little more at ease with where we are right now and the direction we're going in, and the certainty that we are going to get to the other side of this. So thank you for being here. Let's just get into the heart of what's going on right now. This is really interesting because I put this little message together that I was going to send out to the group um, almost 2 weeks ago now, but I didn't send it out because something was off about it. And it would have been too easy for people to misunderstand what I was saying. So I actually called up somebody else and I read it to her and I asked her what she thought, and I told her where the space was, where my concern was. And she said, I can see how you would think that. So maybe you just want to reword that paragraph. So what I decided to do, I'll leave it the same, but I will read it and then I'll break it down, and so that it makes sense. Because what I'm finding is language, verbal language is not my first language, which I've always known that. Telepathy is my first language. I feel comfortable just communicating telepathically. But there are a few people that can pick up on my messages that I'm giving them telepathically.
Mm,
So that means I have to use words. And oftentimes, I won't use enough words to give, like I'll work on one dimension of our being, and we're multidimensional beings. So you have to address the whole picture to get a clear view of what's happening, rather than just addressing one part of the picture, because it just leaves uh, it leaves an incomplete story for somebody to really get what the true message is that's coming off of it. So anyway, I had titled this Seeds, Activations of the New Human. I said, we're in phase one of a three-phase activation that will continue to escalate through 2026. At this time, you must choose what consciousness are you going to serve, fear or love, two ends of the same spectrum. In order to level up, you will have to let go of a duality consciousness. Choosing unity consciousness is a whole new spectrum of frequencies which don't allow for the lower frequencies of the duality consciousness. You can still remain in this classroom of duality as teachers to help others and not be attached to the fear-based consciousness. You would be a Christ consciousness living in a duality consciousness world or classroom. Or you can choose to move out of this experience completely and live completely in the higher frequencies. There is a lot you can do to serve humanity still in duality consciousness from the higher dimension as well. And I did put in all caps because I realized that people could misunderstand what I was trying to say there. So in all caps, I did put, it is important to know I am not talking about physical body leaving or staying. I am talking about consciousness. So this is the time to reflect, reevaluate, ask for guidance, trust your inner guidance by continually connecting with source, be in silence, nature, around water, meditation, yoga, etc. Only you at your highest level can walk you through this journey. I can tell you this, even though it starts out as a solo journey, it doesn't stay that way. The solo part, or at least it feels that way, and the early part of the journey, which also feels like you're alone, ends pretty quickly. Before you know it, others show up. Who knows, maybe they were there all along, just waiting for you to get further into the journey before they showed themselves. I made the decision to stay here and teach, and at the same time, travel out of body. I can share my pros and cons with that decision, but I won't influence you one way or the other. I am simply here to support you through whatever your decision is. So that was what I was going to send out. And then there were a couple parts in it where I thought it could be taken the wrong way. So that's why I want to break it down so you understand it better. So we are in a phase. This is a 3-phase initiation that's taking place right now, and it is going to go into 2026. And things are heating up. There's no doubt about it. Everybody knows things are heating up right now. Everybody's feeling the frequencies more intensely. Everybody is edgy. People are edgy sometimes around us. So we have to acknowledge that. We're seeing things in people's personalities and maybe in our own personalities, which may surprise us or make us rethink about our relationship with other people, or even the job that you're in, relationships that you have, even looking at yourself. It's like changes that all of a sudden you feel like you need to make in your life, looking at things differently. So there's a lot of changes that are taking place right now. And it's all because consciousness wants us to choose. I'm very fortunate in that, if you look at this world and recognize that it's upside down, it's backwards. And if all you just have to do is just turn yourself 180 degrees and you'll be heading in the right direction. But we came here to experience this upside down world and figure out how to write it so that we are in line with the direction that we want to be in every moment, and the remembrance of who we are. So I realized that when I was a kid, that this world was upside down, because I didn't have a belief in sickness and disease. It didn't even look right to me. It didn't look like it was something from God to me. I was kind of a rebel growing up. Whatever somebody told me I had to do as part of the paradigm then, belief systems and everything, it didn't feel comfortable. I did the opposite, and I felt free and sovereign then doing it that way and all. And the only time I really felt really miserable in my life and sick 80% of the time is 7 years that I went with the way the world says you have to do everything. And then the day I broke free from that again, I felt freedom again. I just turned 180 degrees and I felt, I can do whatever I choose to do as long as I follow. It doesn't mean you don't follow some rules. You follow some rules, but you follow some rules that are higher frequency vibrations. In other words, you treat other people with respect. You don't feel like you need to judge anything. You don't feel like you need to criticize other people for anything. You don't try to attack other people in order to get ahead in life. So you get rid of this idea of competition. You learn to work with people, help other people out. If somebody's struggling with something, instead of stepping over them so you can get the raise or something, you either walk away from a situation that's not going to change, or you help somebody through a situation so that you both can evolve from whatever situation you're in at the time. So there were a lot of things that I just didn't see the world the same way as the Piscean age belief system was showing us what the world was supposed to be like. So spirit pushes you into a direction that you had already agreed to go into before you even incarnated. You came in with a purpose. You came in with a program that you wanted to get through, things that you wanted to express, things you wanted to learn, um, pathway that you created. I can do this time. Let me in, coach, because I can do this. So you come in with all these plans on what you want to accomplish and all, and then all of a sudden you come into this world that's upside down and all, and you not realizing that. And then you have to figure out, all right, how do I do what I came in here to do? I said I'd come in here to do, when I have all these obstacles that I have to overcome in order to get to that place of doing all these things. So spirit helps you with that. Your guides help you with that. One of the first things that you have to understand in order to accomplish what you came in here to accomplish is know that you're not doing it alone. You have angels, you have guardian angels, you have archangels, you have masters and teachers, and you have eventually, like when you're my age, you have ones that you were masters and everything that you grew up with, not grew up with, but spent years with learning under and everything, have left the physical world, but are still mentors and masters to you from the other side of the veil. So there's all this help, and they will remind you of what you agreed to come in here to accomplish. And when you're supposed to take the next step in your spiritual evolution, there will be this pressure. It's almost like a band that's being pulled on you to get you to wake up. So some uncomfortable circumstances will present itself in order to put pressure on you because they want you to move into another level of awareness. And so then you all of a sudden have this kind of like battle going on, internal battle going on between your egoic personality and your spiritual soul personality. Because the soul, the spirit wants you to move in a certain direction. But because of the programming that you came into, the programming is saying, no, this is what you're supposed to do. Like in the Piscean age, the programming was you're supposed to, go to school, you're supposed to get married, you're supposed to have children, you're supposed to have the white picket fence, you're supposed to have animals and this and that and everything and all. You're supposed to go to work, you're supposed to work at the same job forever and ever, and then you retire, and then eventually you end up passing away. That's the old paradigm way of living. That's what I grew up in. That's why I didn't like it very much, because it wasn't me, because I came in as an Aquarian. The Aquarian age paradigm is I will decide if I want to get married or not get married. I will decide if I want to continue into the institution of college and grow that way, or if I want to step out on my own and create something new for my life. I will decide where I want to live. I will not let my parents or anyone dictate to me who I'm supposed to marry or where I'm supposed to live or what my obligations are to my family or to other people and all. I will choose who my tribe is. We didn't even have words like that when I grew up, but I will choose my tribe and I will live my life as my heart guides me to live my life. And so there are two opposite ways of living, So one's based in fear for the most part, and the other's based in love for the most part. And so what Spirit is asking us to do is choose. For years and years, we've been able to jump back and forth all the time. And we did that. You'd be in moments of bliss and everything, and then you'd be in moments of just fear and in the midst of competition and all this stuff, and you were jumping back and forth all the time. Spirit doesn't want that. It wants to bring the two together and marriage the two, the ego and the soul. But the soul has to grow up. The soul's like the inner child that's a little child that's programmed with this old programming, and you're trying to shake it out of it. But there's more to life than this. Don't think you have to do this. There's other options available to you. And Spirit is trying to show you these other options that are available to you and all. Just trust Spirit for a little while. Let go, relax, allow. Don't chase money. The Aquarian age says, let money chase you, and money will chase you. But if you are stuck in the Piscean age thinking, you are chasing money, and I am telling you right now, nobody gets rich chasing money. You get rich chasing your heart's desires, because money shows up when you connect with who you truly are from within, from the heart center. Then money chases you to make sure that your heart's desire gets manifested. So it's a huge leap, but it should be an easier leap for Aquarian age people than it was for Piscean age people. However, I really have a lot of respect for the young people that have come in now that are Aquarian minded people, because there is so much pressure that is on you from all sides from Piscean minded people, which that's just one more thing you have to overcome. So I am telling you, you will overcome this. I overcame it when I was in the depths of it, the really heart of Piscean age thinking and belief systems. I came in when the Aquarian age hadn't even really stepped in yet. So I was in that, but except that I came in as like a forerunner to clear all the weeds out of the way and clear a path for those that came in behind and make it a little easier. But I never realized that is, even though I was making the path easier, it didn't mean that there weren't weird weeds that were coming up on the sidelines and everything and trying to grab a hold of you as you're going down this path of Aquarian age thinking. So here you come in and you say, I want to follow my heart. Yoga makes me feel joyful. It fills my heart with lightness and joy and everything. There's nothing wrong with that. And yet you have Piscean age minded people saying, this is of the devil. This is evil. You can't do that. But your heart is saying, yes, this is right for me. And I want to help other people to understand this. If you want to be lifted up and everything, do things that make your heart sing. But see, that's the old age doesn't understand that still. And we're trying to get the old age thinking people to lighten up a bit. Just let people be happy, because they're not happy. And we're seeing it more and more now than we've ever seen it before. They're struggling, they're confused, they're angry, they don't know what to do with their life anymore. And here we are saying, the Aquarian age is saying, just laugh, dance, be joyful. Joyful, what's joyful? I don't know how to be joyful. We were taught to go to work for our whole life. Even if we hated our job, we were taught to stay at the same job our whole life and then retire when we were 65. That's what's joyful about that. So this major conflict that is going on right now, and you can feel the energy of it. It is so strong. But you're going to get through this. I know it's really hard and everything, but you're going to get through this. So this is the first part. You have to make a decision. Which am I going to, you can't keep going in both directions. Am I going to serve fear and the old way of thinking, or am I going to truly follow my heart in my higher guidance and serve love in everything that I do? You can't live both at the same time. Make a decision. People that everything starts with a decision. Even people like when I finally made the decision I was getting a divorce, I went to a party like the next day, family party thing, and I was happy. I was dancing because I knew I made a decision and I was taking action. I was going to move forward and everything. And afterwards, people said to me, the in-laws and all said to me, we were surprised that you got a divorce because you look so happy. I looked happy because I made a decision. Even people that commit suicide, they feel a release just from making the decision that that's what they're going to do. And they take action. So whatever you choose in life, you have to make a choice, and then you have to take action. universe, I'm telling you, the universe doesn't care what your choice is. The universe is neutral. It's universe is energy. It doesn't care. Consciousness is behind universe, but the universe itself is energy, vibration, and frequency. It is neutral. It will just give you whatever your desires are. So if you choose fear, all right, it'll take you down that path. It'll give you whatever you need to experience fear in every aspect of your life. If you choose love, it's okay with that. It will give you everything that you need to experience love in your life. It will give you all the tools you need. It will show you all the steps that you need to go through to get to that end point that you're looking for. So you can't go forward and backward at the same time. Figure out what it is you want to do, make a decision, and make that decision definitive so that you don't go back on it. This is what I choose. I don't care what anybody else thinks about it. I don't care anything about anything outside of the choice that I made. If I choose love, I choose love in everything that I do. It's that important. So that's the first part of it. It's the same spectrum. You're still in the duality world. You haven't left it. You still can feel the pressure from all sides and everything and all. But if you decide definitively that I will choose love in everything that goes on in my life, you will still have challenges, but you will be able to get through those challenges so much easier than anybody else will get through them because they're choosing fear. We're all going through these challenges. Right now, my challenges are financial based. I'm getting hit with tons of bills coming into me all of a sudden, bills I wasn't even recognizing coming in different ways. It's just a test. All right. If you trust the universe for everything that's happening in your life because you choose love in everything and all, choose love in this. Trust that the universe is going to supply you and get you through this period that you're going through right now. That's why one of the scriptures says, count it all joy in different tests and trials, knowing that the trying of your faith, so that's what the test is about. It's a test of your faith. The trying of your faith work its patience. Patience, the literal Greek meaning for the word patience is consistency and constancy. You have to consistently and constantly speak words that are high vibration words. You have to speak words of trust, surrender, allowance. I don't know how you're going to make this work, God, but I just trust you in this. I just trust you within my heart. I trust you in all the universe. Every breath that I take in, I just trust that my frequencies are rising all the time. I'm not being hit by any poisons or anything like that in the atmosphere because I'm pure. I'm qualifying my breath with pure pranic energy with you, God, in every breath that I take in. And I don't know how you're going to keep me healthy all the time, but I trust that you keep me healthy all the time, energized all the time through everything that goes on in my life, even though everybody around me seems to be getting sick, seems to be in the hospital, seems to be struggling and all. I trust you, God, in everything in my life. You have to get to that point in order to sail through these times that we're in. So the next thing it said in here was, in order to level up, you have to let go of a duality consciousness. That's what this is about, letting go of duality consciousness. You're living in duality consciousness, but it doesn't mean that it has to affect you. These are the tests and the trials. You're not out of here. You're not living totally in unity consciousness. How can you be? You're living in a duality world right now where we're having these experiences, maybe not within ourselves, but all around us, of people that are still stuck in the medical belief system. They're still stuck in lack and limitation. They're still stuck in fear of everything that's happening around them. It's going to hit me. It's going to tell me, oh no, how can you travel overseas to some other countries and everything? Haven't you heard what's going on in the rest of the world? How can you possibly get on a plane now? Haven't you seen all these planes that are crashing? You know, I mean, it can go on and on and on nonstop if you allow it to. That's why you have to be consistently and constantly trusting God in everything and knowing that if you were not supposed to get on a plane, then the universe would let you know, cancel the trip. We've heard so many stories over the years of people that canceled trips that they were supposed to go on because they just had a bad feeling within them. They just felt this inner guidance saying, don't do this. So they didn't do it, and then something happens. Or the people that didn't show up on 9/11 to go to work, something happened and they couldn't go in that day. Or spirit might have set something up for them to keep them home that day. They might have gotten sick or something. Something might have happened to their children. They got sick, or just they felt this uneasy feeling about going in, or their car broke down on the way in. We used to hear, I remember hearing tons of story about people that didn't go in that day and that their lives were saved because they didn't go in that day. And this stuff happens all the time for people that are aligned and follow the guidance all the time. We still live in a duality world. It doesn't mean you have to suffer the pains on a level that a lot of people are suffering the pains these days. You can sail through something. In fact, I'll give you another example just recently. For some reason, the other morning, I ended up sometime during that morning, I ended up getting a fever. I felt rotten and got a fever. And I don't get sick. And I wasn't sick. That was the only thing I had was a fever. It's like, oh, this is interesting. What the heck? All right. Well, I'm just gonna let this go. Um, by that night, the fever was gone. And the next day, it came back again. I'm going, okay, well, this is interesting too. You know, I just accepted that, you know what, this is all part of ascension symptoms and all. This is going to pass. I just allowed it to flow through me instead of getting stuck in it and saying, you know, really like, oh, I must be getting something, was to rest because I was exhausted. So I was to rest that day. I rested. Um, and I just didn't do much of anything. And I don't know what it was about, but I didn't attach to it in any way. And it just moved through me. And once I got through that, because I felt really, you know, just really exhausted. And other people were saying they were exhausted too. But I just let it move through me. And when I came out on the other side of it, um, I just felt like I was propelled forward. I felt, you know, so much bliss and everything, and so good and so energized and all. Um, but that's how it works. If you make the decision to trust in the universe that has your back every single moment of your being, it will have your back every single moment of your being. And you can get through anything really quickly. Don't get attached to what's going on in the world. Um, if you want to stay in this gets to the next part, really. It says you can still remain in the classroom of duality as a teacher to help others and not be attached to the fear-based consciousness. Um, you would be a consciousness living in duality consciousness world or classroom, or you can choose to move out of this experience completely and live completely in the higher frequencies. There's a lot that you can do to serve humanity in a duality consciousness from the higher dimensions as well. So this one's a little complex. So basically, it's saying, and it's complex for a number of reasons. For one thing is complex because it's not the same as it's always been. Because how it was before, up until now, to ascend, you had to literally, because your body couldn't hold these frequencies, these higher frequencies, you literally had to leave your body in order to ascend, because you would be in a light body. But now we are becoming new humans. We are literally physically changing. Our physiology is changing as well as our spirituality. So we are changing from our carbon-based body to our crystalline solar light body. And I have no idea why anybody thinks that this would just be a walk in the park. because it's not a walk in the park. It changes everything about you. It changes the way you want to eat. It changes how you feel about water, about food, about everything in the world. It just changes everything that's going on. So this is an adjustment, and it's another one of those things where you just need to trust your higher self, trust the universe that will guide you through this process. If you're not eating and you're feeling like, well, I'm not even hungry and I just don't want to eat. Instead of thinking something's wrong with you because you don't want to eat, realize that it is part of your shifting, your physiology shifting into a light body, and you just don't need those foods anymore. You might want to just eat fruits, or you might want to just eat vegetables, or you might want to go days without eating at all. It's part of the process. Trust in the process and allow it to happen. And don't let other people judge you, because still for me, other people will say, well, if I get something to eat, will you eat too? And I just smile at them and I just say, I got my chia pudding. Yeah, that's eating. Or I have my mushroom drink. For me, that's eating. And it's like they want to get something dense or something and all. And my body just doesn't want anything dense anymore. So just acknowledge that in your body, accept it, allow the change to take place so it'll be a lot easier for you. And don't let other people push you into doing something that you know is not going to make you feel comfortable, because you're the only one that will suffer for it afterwards. They're not going to suffer for it afterwards, just you will. So be bold enough to, in a nice way, say, I appreciate it, thank you, but I do have something that I already have here to eat. And be good with that. Be happy with that. They'll get used to you after a while. They might not understand it, but they will eventually adjust. They might not ever stop saying, I really think you should eat something. you know, just be okay with that. When people say things to you, just say things something like, I'll take that into consideration, or thanks for sharing. Whatever kind thing that you can say to the person, that they get the message when you say that to them. So be willing to do that. There will be millions and millions and millions of people that will be leaving the earth during these next few years, because they choose to. They chose it before they came in. They knew when they were going to leave. There's always several opportunities that we have to make an exit from our physical body. And then you can turn down those different time periods and everything. But people know when they're going to leave. So, lots of people will be leaving because they will have, for a lot of reasons. There's no singular thing for anything anymore. A lot of reasons. They completed their work here and they don't want to stay longer, so they choose to leave. They just don't want to hang around here anymore because they can't take it anymore. The energies are just way too much for them, and so they choose to leave. There are lots of reasons why people leave. So just know a lot of people are going to leave, but a lot of people are going to stay. There are people that have come in just for this time period and to stay through this and to stay to be the teachers in the future to help those that will wake up, because they will wake up. And you choose to stay here on this assignment because you were the ones that chose to lead the people that are waking up and are like babies coming in and they don't know what next step to take. It's already been happening. It started happening a number of years ago. I started having people coming to me in their 40s and 50s saying, I quit my job. I have no idea what I'm supposed to do now. And it will be your job, as it's been my job, to help guide them into connecting with their higher self so they can start to get some guidance from within. They don't know how to do that. So that'll be our job. So those that choose to stay here, like I made a choice to stay here. I could have left and I wanted to leave. But I made a choice to stay for another 20 years for this purpose, as well as being a teacher during this time period, because there's going to be a lot of them needed. And my job is to raise teachers for the future and all. So none of this is about, this is not about the choice of leaving your body or staying in your body. This is all about your choice in consciousness, where you want to position yourself. Do you want to position yourself as a teacher for the future that we're stepping into? Or do you want to position yourself as somebody that's confused, doesn't have a clue what the heck is going on, and can't figure out the fastest way to get out of here? You know? So that's what that's about. So I like this next one. This is the time to reflect, reevaluate, ask for guidance, trust your inner guidance, continually connecting with source, be in silence, nature, around water, meditation stuff. Only at your highest level can walk you through this journey. This was such an interesting paragraph because all of these things that people the people that are still in a state of fear are trapped in the world of I've got to do. They're chasing after money all the time. They're chasing after work. They're trying to blame everybody else for every problem that they have in the world. They won't take any responsibility for anything. Life is a struggle for them. They're beating themselves up. Their immune systems are getting weaker and weaker and weaker as each day goes by. You know, it's a real struggle for them. For those that want to easily move through this, after making a decision, taking action, trusting, allowing, surrendering, you know, spend time in nature, do the things, do the self-care, whatever you need, listen to music that's going to elevate you. Why is all this so important right now? Because you are being attacked as well as everybody else is. We are all being pushed by these energies. The old energy and the new energy is pushing against each other. And in order to keep yourself balanced and get through this period with the least amount of struggle as necessary, is to connect with the planet itself, is to connect with water, recognize that water is life. Speak words of love and compassion and gratitude and appreciation into it. It'll hold that memory. And then when you drink it, you're taking that into yourself. Plants, I just heard this the other day. This is so amazing. Do the research, like this type of stuff and everything. I heard that if you take your saliva and put it on a plant, that plant will take in everything about that saliva that's you, and it will create in that plant all the nutrients that you need that take in, that will give you everything that you need, whatever you're deficient in. And if you think about that, it makes a lot of sense, because we're told all the time when you eat food, most people just, you know, gulp their food down, almost like an animal. They don't even chew it almost. It just goes down. They don't give any thought to it and all. But I've always been told that chew your food a lot when you eat it, because you're mixing your saliva with it. So you're mixing your DNA cells with the food that you're taking in. And if you're eating like a plant-based diet, then those plants and everything are taking that DNA cells and stuff into your body, and they're reprogramming the food that you're taking in, so it will make sure that you get the nourishment that you need to stay balanced. But what they were talking about in this study, they were literally talking about plants on the vines and everything still, and just putting your saliva onto the leaves of those plants, and those plants, while they're growing, will restructure themselves personally for you to give you whatever minerals that you're lacking in your body when you take that in and eat it then. So I think you can probably do it both ways. But I thought that was an interesting study when I saw that. So, and then we know that air, when you're outside, you can look at what's going on in so many different ways. This is how I choose to look at what's going on. In the beginning, when we were seeing these chemtrails, everybody was saying, how awful these chemtrails are. And the fog that came in, they had discovered when a lab did studies on it, what was in that fog that came in, these terrible chemicals and stuff and all. But when I look at it as because I raise my own elevation, my frequency and everything and all, that this air that I'm going to breathe in has been qualified so that when I take it in, it is free from all of those harmful chemicals and pharmaceuticals and everything that supposedly has been put into these chemtrails and been put into the air and the atmosphere that we breathe in all the time. So you can look at it that way. So you're elevating yourself. So your frequency is high, that everything that you take in has been transmuted and it is no longer harmful for you. So you're keeping your immune system really strong. So you're constantly rising above anything that the world is trying to project into you of the lower vibrations. So being out in nature and connecting with the trees, connecting with the plants, connecting with people, even because if you ever notice, when you go on vacation, people on vacation are totally different than when they're in their everyday world. The families are interacting with their kids in the pool. The kids are making friends with new other kids that are in the pool. Everybody's happy. They're going out to dinner. They're laughing. They're experiencing all kinds of joy and all. It's just a different energy when you're on vacation. You're watching other people. I watch other people. When COVID hit, I went on vacation. I got my granddaughter and her and I bought a new vehicle, and her and I went across country. We went all out west to the different states and everything, and we stayed in resorts. I didn't want to see all the crap that was going on in the world, on what people were experiencing in their everyday life. I wanted to see people that were having fun and just left the world behind them for a while. And it was so much fun because people were laughing, kids were having fun. Nobody was talking, nobody was wearing a mask, nobody was talking about horrible things that are going on in the world right now. Just imagine yourself on vacation every day. When you come back, bring your vacation back home with you and just imagine yourself still on vacation. So you're not caught up in the drama that's going on around you. You don't have to be, it's your choice. So I like that a lot because that's part of your journey, keeping your vibrations high, doing whatever you need to do to keep them high as part of the journey. This next paragraph is really interesting. This is really basically the last paragraph almost. I can tell you this, even though it starts out as a solo journey, it doesn't stay that way. The early part of the journey, which also feels like you're alone, ends pretty quickly. Before you know it, others show up. Who knows? Maybe they were there all along, just waiting for you to get further into the journey before they showed themselves. I like this a lot because it reminds me of when I first started going on this journey myself. And I decided that from this point on, I'm letting my heart guide me, letting the heart lead the way, not my egoic mind leading the way. It had run the show for thousands and thousands, maybe millions of years, who knows? But it wasn't going to do it anymore. I elevated myself and I said, I'm letting the heart lead the way from this point on. So, and in fact, I even said, we're going on a new journey. The heart's going to be the leader on this journey. And it did feel like in the beginning, it was just me and my ego self, because I didn't want to abandon my ego self. It's part of me. It's part of this frequency that we live in, the spectrum. So I didn't want to abandon it. I didn't want to betray it. I just wanted it to mature and grow up So my first thought was, I just needed the ego to trust my higher self. So I was trying to bring the two together. Just trust me. That's all I ask you to do, is just trust me for a while. You're going to love this journey. But right now, all I'm asking you to do is just come with me and trust me on this journey. So even though it feels like you're alone when you start this journey, you're really not alone, because you still have all of your guides with you. They're in the background pretty much, because this is the beginning stage where you're making that decision of what you're going to do. This is what we're starting a new life now. This is the new life. We're going on this journey that's going to elevate us and take us into a place we haven't been to before, because that's what's happening right now. This ascension process, creating a new human, has not been done to this level that this is being done. This is all new to us. So we have to be willing to go on this journey. You have to make a decision that you're going to go on this journey, not knowing the path that you're going to take. You just make the decision. This is the path that I'm going on. I don't know where it's going to lead me. I don't know what's going to open up for me, but I'm going to trust it and move forward on this journey. And you feel like you're alone in the beginning. And then you get to a point, and I remember getting to this point where all of a sudden I started noticing other beings on this journey with us. And so I think what happens is you feel like you're alone on this journey because your spirit, your soul, is waiting to see if you're going to stick to this commitment, or if you're going to turn back and go to the old way of thinking, the old life that you had before, because that was feels most comfortable and all. And when you get to a certain point on the journey where it's almost like at a point where it's no return, you're really deep into it, then it's like all of a sudden everybody joins in with you that's around you and says, hey, we're here too, we were just waiting for you. So I don't really think they were there just waiting for us. I really think they were there all along. They just didn't allow us to see them until we got so far into the journey that they could see that we were fully committed to this journey. So, and it doesn't mean that the journey gets easier in the beginning, because you still have to go through these obstacles. It's almost like you're going through an astral plane. I would relate it to like Star Wars, where you're in your spaceship and you're going through this astral plane to get to a destination you need to get to. So you're dodging these comets and everything that are shooting there, and asteroids that are shooting by you and everything, so you don't crash. But you do get to the other side. You just stay focused on what your destination is, and you keep moving forward, and you end up getting beyond this astral plane, and you get shot out. All of a sudden you're just in this just beautiful wide open valley that's right before you, that you get to see. And now you can actually physically see with your inner eye, you can see your destination. So then all of a sudden the journey gets really exciting. It's exciting before, but it gets exciting to a point now where with your inner sight, you've developed your inner sight and all your gifts so much that you can see your destination now. And so, nobody has to, there's no battle going on anymore. There's just this decision that you've been on this path for so long and all, and the journey opens up to you, and there it is. And you get to see everything. And so this isn't a journey that it might feel like you're by yourself right now, because we're in the beginning stages of it. Most people are in the beginning stages of it. So the battle is going on. So you may feel like you're all alone because you can't find that many other people that you're connecting with. And I don't mean, you can connect with people over YouTube and stuff like that and everything and all, but people physically that you can connect with and, encourage each other and stuff and everything. You have to walk the journey, but other people can encourage you. other people can say, yeah, the other people can say, yeah, this is what I found out as I started walking it too. So what do you think? You can bounce off of each other, everything to help you get through this period of time that we're in right now. And once you do that and everything, you begin to get more and more confident on the decision that you've made. And you begin to just trust more and surrender more until, you get to that point where there's no turning back. This is it. And you just feel that joy and this excitement about the journey that you're on. So, um, that's basically that message that I was going to send out and did not send out. That's a deeper understanding of what that message is all about. I hope it helps you because this is where we're at right now. Uh, there's pressure coming from both sides, and still people, there's lots and lots of people that are making a decision to wake up, to go on this journey. But there's still a lot of people that are not making this decision to wake up and go on this journey. We can help them and we can help ourselves by getting more and more committed each day to this path that we're on and make it good for everybody. So I hope this was helpful. I hope it helps clears things up for you, knowing that this is real. This is really happening. Uh, and we can be of great service to people just by committing ourselves to this journey and being on it all the time. So in everything that we do. So I hope you found this helpful. Plus we have another we have YouTube channels. He'll put all this information in there so that you can find out when we're going to be, where we're going to be. And we're definitely open into connecting with other high-minded people that have expanded their awareness into a greater reality, which we call heaven on earth, that we're shifting into right now. Or we can call it the ascension process, or so many different things. But sharing views, ideas, different cultures is a wonderful thing to do, and I'm looking forward to it. I want to thank everyone tonight, everyone that will see this in the future. Thank you for your participation and your love, and we send out our love to you. We look forward to catching up with you and seeing you and learning new things from your country and us sharing new things from our country for you as well. So namaste until we meet again.